Well, thank you. Well, I think the time I was there, the anthem was different. I hear they have sort of reloaded the anthem. What anthem am I talking about? The pre-second anthem, or that day, when I was there was Happy Are We, Studios Are We, Students of Presbyterian Secondary School, and things like that. Show some love, man. It could have been amended, but maybe not. Why am I singing this song? Because today, I'm telling you folks, today is or that day show, man. We're going to talk to Obeng Amoako. He has written a very, very fascinating book, man. And this is, I love this man because what he has done, for me, is something that more should be doing. He's written a book on this great man, Ejakonimo. And the book is called Six Strings and a Note. Truly fascinating book. And I want to hang out with him, find out what inspired him to do a book on a legend like this. Ladies and gentlemen, show some love. Put your hands together. Let's welcome Edmonds, Obeng. There we go. I keep getting your name wrong. It's Obeng Amoako. Edmonds.
Obeng Amoako, Edmonds.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good to have you here, man.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. And today's another day, I just figured let's do the Presec thing, man.
Sounds good. All the best. All the better.
And you went in what year?
I went to Presec in 1989, 29th September 1989.
Okay, that was my...
I remember like it was yesterday. I think I'm dating myself, but that's okay. Yeah. That's okay.
That's cool.
I finished, we were the very last batch of the old system, so I finished in 96.
Okay. And after Presec?
After Presec, I did my post-grad work. I did my undergrad at the University of Houston. So I did communications and global business. Then I went on to do my MBA also at the same school. So I've become a quasi-resident of Houston, splitting time between Houston and Accra for the most part.
Yeah. Wow. But I invited you here, man, because I was at the book launch for this great man, Konimo. I remember when I was in class 3 or 4, University Primary School, Tech Primary, before you were born. We went to this concert, on campus, and it was Konimo coming to our primary school to sort of, entertain us. And then, this is over 50 years ago. I see myself at a book launch, launching a book on this legend. But more importantly, the writer is there, man. You've done well. Let me just give it up. Show him some love, man. You've done extremely well.
Thank you.
What motivated this?
I think it started with a very simple story. I've shared it over and over. Many years ago, which is about 4 years ago now, I went to an event in Houston, sitting on a front row watching Ejakonimo perform. And there were many Ghanaians and also many non-Ghanaians. Interestingly, the Ghanaians were doing everything else except pay attention. Nobody was listening to him. Kids were running, parents were throwing things. So it was just almost embarrassing. But the non-Ghanaians were staring at the man, fascinated, just thrilled to just be there. Sitting back, one of the things that dawned on me is a quote a very good friend of mine told me. Our nose are the closest to our eyes, but it's the only time we see our noses with a reflection in the mirror. Our feet are the farthest away from our eyes, but we see it quicker than we see our noses. And what we learned very quickly is the people around us, we don't take the time to celebrate them. I was very fortunate. I grew up listening to A.B. Crenshaw, Amachi Dede, one of my favorites, Amachi Dede, George Dakon, that genre of music. Yeah. And so when I was growing up, Ejakonimo was an old man. So when I saw him many years, I think about 20 years later, and he was still old. That part was intriguing. And so anyway, so it was a series of coincidences, and I ended up having to do this project. Excellent. Very, very interesting in its own way.
So, give it up, man. So when you saw the performance,
yes,
was it the performance that intrigued you, his age and still performing, What?
Well, the interesting part is Ejako the most songs.
Yeah.
We all know it. So,
Yeah.
for instance, I take a song like Abna Mistro Wujemfite.
Yes.
The song talks about Abna and Ampon meeting at a funeral, falling in love. Problem is Abna is married. Ampon said, I want to marry you. Said, okay, this is how it's going to work. I have a husband, we have to kill him. So when you see him sitting by the fire next week, I'll be fanning the fire. You shoot him. That's your cue. So it works out. Abna Jinajana hon fan it.
Fanning it.
And Ampong kills Abner's husband. Fast forward, they marry. Many years later, Ampong is sitting by the fireside enjoying the beauty, the nature. And Abner figures, my husband might be cold, sitting next to the fire, so let me go help him and fan the fire so that the fire will be, come back alive again. And Ampong, looking at Abner, remembers exactly what he did many years ago and said, Abner, when I talk to many people or when you hear the song, the meaning of the song ends when I translate it or I explain it. But for Jakonimo, it transcends the words and the diction that you just heard. Now you talk about living freely, living without guilt, living the very best you can. It's a series of subtle messages that's woven in the music. And also because he grew up in Menchia and the Sante royal family, with the royal family, his train of thought and his diction is very much woven into the Ashanti, Anwinsem proverbs. And so it's rich. You listen to him and when he's done, you're wondering, what did he just say?
Did he ask you to write it, or you suggested to him, like, listen, you're a legend, you need a book on yourself? What?
Well, I had done several projects before, and several of them we decided to shelve them for different reasons. But when I met him, I had done a different project, A Poke in My Eye. So I gave him a copy of the book just as a courtesy, and he said, oh, sign it. So I just signed the book. And he had a series of guitars next to him. So in conversation, I picked a guitar and I said, okay, just follow me. My music or my guitar skills are not as elaborate as yours, but we'll try it. So I played a series of chords, G, F, E, just playing strange chords. And for every turn, he's following me with this yasantua. Very, very detailed, very nice yasantua, picking the strings. So I started asking him, how did you learn to do that? So it started with a conversation. Then he told me a gentleman had tried to, many years ago, people have reached out to him, tried to do books on him. But he didn't want anybody to write a book if he didn't understand his culture.
I see.
So there's several things that I, in all humility, uncovered that I'm not sure if I was a non-Ghanaian or non-Akan, let's say, will I have uncovered it.
And one of them, which I thought was quite interesting, fascinating, was how you determined that the date of birth that he uses is not actually his date of birth. That's what's on everywhere.
Very good story. So when you start writing a project like this, your first train of thought is, let's find out what people know about him. So I went online like everybody else does, and you find out the man was born on October 3rd, 1934. I believed it. So going through my research and reading and just trying to scrounge things and make up a framework about what this is going to be like. And something just on a hunch, and I'm always very big to give glory to God because some things come to you and it's a God moment. And I decided to research and be sure if the man was born on that day. I did my own calculations backwards and found out he was the October 3rd, either fell, I think it was a Friday or Saturday, fell on. My train of thought is, if your name is Kwabena is a Tuesday born, you can't be born on Friday. So either the name is not Kwabena and the whole world thinks the name is Kwabena Buamponzem, or the date is wrong. Something has to be wrong. But everywhere in the world, everybody says October 3rd, and I did a lot of research. So I believed either I'm a little crazy or I need some sleep, one of the two. So I called the Jacko and my conversation middle of the night. And my first question was, Jacko, Yampo October 3rd. There was a little silence on the phone. I said, Nana,
Wow.
That was interesting because you learn later that, and I do that, I try to capture that in the book. You learn that his uncle took him to school. His uncle got there, gave him a name, didn't give him a name. His first name was supposed to be Frederick, not even Daniel. It got changed halfway. It's in the book, so I can't tell you everything. It's in the book. But his name was supposed to be Frederick. That changed to Daniel. But the other part is his uncle got there and wrote the date of birth. I think in those days, and this is pure because Ejako wasn't there, so he can't tell me. So we had to just extrapolate. So what we know is I think the uncle picked the October date because it closely matched an event that Ejako may have been born. And back in the day, we say, Nana Prempe Yure Koha around this time, plus or minus Yawosa date, and that's that's how it evolved. So he went to his father's village in Kukum many years later, walked into an Atakwame the wooden mud huts be, and on the wall, now the father has used charcoal to write a name on the wall, Kwabena. And the date under it was 27th January 1931.
Wow.
That's when he knew his date of birth. Problem is, everybody in the world was running away with October 3rd.
Wow.
And his voice will never be loud enough to change what's in the world. In the biggest institutions in the world, that's what they say.
Because it wouldn't occur to you that if he's born on Tuesday, that he can't be that day. It wouldn't even
The
be a
whole
thought.
world can't be wrong.
Yeah.
And it's a challenge for me and really for everybody else. You want to question what you see. I'm not saying go around questioning everything. You can question anything you want to. But you want to be very, very intellectually curious enough to add value. So yes, you can take things at face value and walk away. But my hope and my encouragement to people is to dig beneath the surface. Try to think. And we're very fortunate with a beautiful culture, beautiful traditions that if you run away from who we are and where we've come from, you'll be chasing something in the wind which you will never, you can aspire to it all you want to, but you can never fully embrace and encapsulate what that thing is.
Put your hands together, man. Show some love. Where can we get these books? I hear they're coming to the Legon bookstore. We'll be carrying them.
We know it's in the. We know it will be a BAM library. So it's a Legon. It will be a Legon. It will be a KNUST. There's some. It will be a Kingdom bookstores, Challenge books, pretty much any major bookstore. But you can go to konimo.org is his website. There you can guarantee you will get it anytime starting now.
Okay. Let's check a little bit about your personal life. You're married. How many? Not how many wives. How many kids?
married with a great wife and a son. So my son is Akrofi, named after me. Every Obeng in my culture, in the Akan, your friends saying subgroup, every Obeng is an Akrofi, as an Imrane name assigned to you. So I am Obeng Akrofi. And so the only thing, I didn't want my house to be very confusing, and my wife say Obeng and two people run. So I am Obeng Akrofi and he's Akrofi Obeng. We just switched it so that when we say Akrofi, we know we are dealing with him. So personally, that's
How old is your son?
My son he's 16 months.
Oh, really?
16 months. And he has been the beneficiary of everything I have done, really, because usually I'll sit down next to him and I will read and review this over and over to him, and he's a child. So he's always just smiling. And so usually that's the best kind of feedback you get when you're reading a book to a 1-year-old and everything is just ha ha ha. So, but when I talk to my wife, since you asked, I always say she's the brain of this operation. I remember when we were thinking about Six Strings in the Note, the title was supposed to be something different. And halfway through, she suggested something doesn't work about the title. It was supposed to be something different. So fast forward many months, I think we're driving out of town somewhere, and the name came up. We wanted the name to be a play on both note as in musical note, but also writing a letter to a generation. So that's what we tried to play on.
Show some love to the wife, man. What does she do?
My wife is a teacher.
Okay.
So my wife is a 3rd grade teacher, so interestingly,
she's from Ghana?
She's from Ghana. My wife is from Ghana. My wife went to Wesley Girls.
Okay.
And obviously, I went to Presec. So in my house, we try to figure out which school was the best, and that debate is still ongoing. In my world, I think it's Presec, but that's a subject for a different day. That's a subject for a different day.
I see. Yes. But you guys met there, or the thing started in Ghana?
Things started in Ghana. No, we met through a mutual friend, actually. We met through a mutual friend. I think we met in D.C.
Okay.
So I'd gone to visit and no, this is true. As soon as I saw her, I knew that's the person I was supposed to marry.
Really?
As soon as I saw her, I knew that's exactly the person.
What was it about her?
I knew the prayers I had prayed, so I knew what I was looking at. And so, as soon as I saw her, I remember she walked into the, she met me at an airport. And so we talked for a little bit, and her friend, she was traveling, going out to somewhere, I think in Georgetown. So she met me at the airport. As soon as I saw her walking towards me,
That's it.
that was
That's
the
it.
first, I was like, that's it.
Wow.
That's it. And a bigger part of life is knowing exactly what you're looking for.
Wow.
When I saw it, there's not a day I go through
So
life.
when did you tell her that you're...
A little while longer. I didn't tell her immediately because otherwise she'll think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
You meet me and you say, hey, you're going to be my wife. You are either delirious or crazy. Either way, it doesn't work. Or both. So we work through getting to know the person. And interestingly, I wasn't setting out to prove she's the person I was supposed to marry. I was trying to follow through on what I believe I have prayed for.
Show some love, man. Show some love. Show some love. Wow, we're hanging out with Obeng Amoako, and we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, another Prosecco is going to be in the house. Stick around. Kwame Jan will be with us. We'll be right back.
Like a famous robot once said, I'll be back. Stay tuned for more KSM.